happens with rockets. Let me actually show you. Let me share my screen. Good to see about a minute of the launch of Apollo 8. And you're going to see here how even though when you see the fires and the ignitions and all this steam going, this thing just seems like it's not going to move. It's like never going to happen. And so you're going to hear a minute. You're going to actually hear from the astronauts and try to think on this launch of exactly what is happening with the launch of your masters. So let me put this into context. So let me see if you can see my screen now. Can you see the screen?
No.
No.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. Share. Share. Share content. Screen. How about now?
Not yet.
The same gray screen that we were seeing last week.
I see like a rocket there or something. No?
I see it.
Ustav sees it.
Always
Oh.
sees that.
You got There we go.
All of you are invited to my office if you want.
Yeah. No, so it's got something on the room. Maybe Miguel, you can help us with that.
Yeah, I can see in my computer, but
Yeah, I think. Do we connect it?
Thing is, I
Yeah,
see a
now
window.
we can see.
Yes.
It's not a full screen thing.
You can see it now?
Yes.
All right. Let me go. You see the rocket?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. So for a minute, this is the launch of your map in Luxembourg.
Vibration from the same intention couldn't see the history of the world. I thought we had it. I was looking at the front door. So the door control. He said he took his hand off, don't die, and the balls.
See that? Do not touch the abort control. Hopefully, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Good. So that's how all good things start at the beginning. Really slow, these things shakes, you're about to just head it, but all of a sudden things work. So think about this, you're pioneers on a program that is brand new on a university that is probably one of the newest ones in the world. So you gotta look back a year from now and all of this is gonna be gone. So now let's go back to where we start. What we're gonna do today, let's go through the logistics of campus work so that all of you are up to tune what we're doing. At this point, all of you actually can see all of you except Larry and Panagiotis. It's probably going to be a matter of hours. Have you done your verification, address verification?
Yeah, Larry and I have been having some problems with that. The trailhead page doesn't load.
The verification is done, right?
I claimed the account from the e-learning from the portal at the University of Mainz website, but once I log in there, it says that I have to log into Trailhead to verify my address, but the page doesn't load.
I have the same problem.
Okay, so you go to Trailhead and you cannot connect yet, right?
Yes.
Okay.
That
All right.
doesn't load.
It's going to be probably a couple of hours. Once you can get in, you verify your address and you're in. So
Okay.
the only the two of you are left. And in fact, let me show you how it looks in my page. So this is your student view. Let me leave the student view. Let me go to people. And so what do I show here? Larry, and Panagiotis. The rest are in, so you are in. So just a couple of hours. Probably I'll send you an email saying go ahead and verify your address and you'll all set. So okay, this is good. So in general, when you get in, you're gonna see where is it? E-learning. This thing. So everybody probably has gone through this, right? Canvas access. You hit here. Username, password, and once that happens, you are inside. Show you it's the page, right? Everybody sees this page at some point.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. All right. So here's the thing. A little bit of let me put the student view here, so that this is probably what you guys see. So you see here in your left column. Probably you see my cursor here is account. The dashboard, when you hit the dashboard, you don't see anything there because it's running student view. But when you hit the dashboard, you're going to see your core. Oh gosh. You're going to see your course. Let me. In my cases, I have all these courses here, but you're going to see space resources fundamentals. You hit that, and you're in the main page. Now, let me put the student view again. And so you're going to see three things: home, modules, and announcements. Do you receive my announcements through my email or through Canvas?
Through Canvas. Through Canvas.
So are you checking your Minds address or your Unilu address?
I checked both, but I did receive the email in the Minds Gmail account.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now, to make it easy for all of you, and I have that somewhere in the first page on notifications, maybe a good thing to do is, if you prefer to get everything through Unilu, then you go to Account, right here. You go to Settings. All these instructions are in the first module. Then you go here. It says Ways to Contact. If you only have your, if you have your Unilu address, or you're going to have the Minds address here. You can add an email address as the Unilu address. It's going to ask you for verification and all that. And then at some point you hit Edit Settings. It's his default email. Send that all to Unilu. If you prefer to get everything in your Luxembourg address, maybe this is the best thing, so you don't have to check the Minds address. Or you're going to have to adjust your email system to check it out. What do you prefer? To get everything from the Luxembourg or?
Will the emails we get in our uni.lu address be labeled as being from Minds University? Will they be labeled as redirected from there?
What's going to happen, once you choose here, default email right here, and you put your Unilu, the University of Luxembourg address, then it's going to be seamless. You're going to be getting things like this. Canvas notification. Let me show you, for example. Like Natalia sent me a comment. And so you're going to head it, it's going to say, Natalia via Canvas notification. And so it's going to be Canvas notification, and you're going to see everything. Announcement, comments, grades, everything. You're going to get it through your Luxembourg address seamlessly. So you're not going to be able to tell what's going on. So I will suggest that if you just check your Luxembourg address, maybe that's the best way to communicate.
Okay. Could you also just send the IMAP settings for the Minds account, so we could just in our own environment create a mailbox, particularly for School of Minds?
That's right. So how do I mean, everybody has different, you have like Google or you have
But
Apple.
the settings for the Minds account is in Gmail, so
Gmail,
it's a Gmail that you have to use.
Yeah, when we
Gmail.
when we first enter the e-learning page, not Canvas but the e-learning, there is an icon that you can click for email, and then it opens directly the inbox for you with all the emails. If you go to e-learning,
Right here.
I think, but not Canvas. We have another e-learning page.
No, you can do it here in the email,
I just wanted to not have to go
in the top right corner.
You can tell the rest of the group how to do that.
Yeah.
That's to check Minds address If you wanted to go through Minds, that's fine. If you wanted to do Luxembourg, just adjust Canvas, because we do everything through Canvas. Everything, all communications are going to be through Canvas. Let me take the student. And that's important because we really need to communicate. If you actually want to send me an email, you just go to inbox here, to the left, click here, and you can just say, here, right here on the top, compose a new message, and I'll get it from you. If at some point you want to send it to my Minds account, that's fine. I mean, I'll be checking everything. But Canvas is a way to keep record and for you to keep organized. So maybe that's the best way to go. So whatever you prefer, let's do it that way. The other thing you're going to see on your left is the calendar. This is important to figure out what's going on. If you hit calendar, right there, you're going to see file. Okay, so you're going to see the deadlines. For example, Monday. Here it says 3:59, but I adjusted it to Luxembourg time. For in your case, it's going to be like 11:59 p.m.
Yeah.
And so you're going to see that you have something. You click in there. You have exactly the assignment, what needs to be done, the whole thing, and then you can go to the modules to see exactly what you need. So here is a way to keep track when things are due, what time, what needs to be done, the news of the week is everything there, the grouping. So calendar is a very useful. Then let's go to the library again. Then let me see. So we got the email. Then you have these things to do here. For me, it tells me what I have to grade, but for you, it's going to say what you need to do, how many points, when is it due, and what's coming up, so that you can, again, make sure that everything's under control. You have the calendar. So this is a way to see what's going on, what's happening, what's due. Then, inbox account. Notifications. Let me go to the account. Settings. Where's settings? Right there. No, not account. Sorry. Account, settings. There's something called notifications. Here it is. You're going to be bombarded with notifications, but you have the option here to say what is it you want to receive, when you want to receive it. For example,
Professor, excuse me, we don't have your nearest picture of your screen.
We lost the screen.
lost me again.
Yeah. No, we see you, but we don't see your screen.
Miguel, can you help me here? Sharing my screen. Did it go just now, or?
Yes, just now.
Okay.
It's okay.
That you can see it, huh? You got a nice office.
So hard.
Yeah.
It's the same process every time.
No, it's okay.
Am I blocking
You're
it?
pioneers.
A little bit? What's
Look
up?
at that.
You have to suffer.
These are the bumps in the road.
Michelle, do you use Gmail for your personal account?
No.
Because
No, I would set it up with them. And I did the SMTP and
yeah,
then settings.
but then it's probably the same. Like if you
Did you try
I
it? It's
can-
not working?
No,
for
I
you?
just don't, I need to know where the server is.
It's the same Google server.
It's-
It's 993 and 465, I think, the ports.
Because I've never set it, you know.
If you go into settings, it will
And
show
then-
you how to set up the Gmail.
Okay.
We can see the share screen.
You see it now?
Yeah, but
Yes.
we cannot see you.
God, no.
That's okay, I'm not important. This screen is important. You see the screen, right?
Yes.
So again, you go to account, notifications. Here you can turn things on and off, like email, for example, announcements. Do you want it right away? Do you want it at the end of the day? Do you want it at the end of the week? I would suggest you do it probably daily to see announcements. If I have comments, for example, submission comments, I have it notify me right away. So here's a way to select if you don't want to be bombarded by things, but you're going to be getting announcements. Anytime I comment to one of your posts, you're going to get a reminder. So it's not that much. So you can keep it, most of them right away. I promise I'm not going to send too much junk. I'm just going to send you the important things. So here you can adjust all your preferences for notification. All right, let me go to the dashboard again. Fundamental. Actually, let me tell you a secret. You can actually have a Canvas app on your phone. You see me next? You don't see me, right?
No.
No.
On my phone, I have a Canvas student app, and you can get your notifications in your phone if you want. So everything, you can see here, grading, comments, everything. Just download it, Canvas app for students, and there you can see the whole thing. So that's if you want to be bombarded. Okay, but for me, I don't do that much. I just use the one method.
No.
Okay, so change email. Now, let's go to the actual. When you have announcements, I probably you get it. You can get it. So, for example, I opened up the module yesterday. You can hear, and it tells you the module is open. You go and see what's going on. And so this is the module that I open. I'm going to open modules every Sunday at 12 o'clock. You're going to be sleeping when that happens. So when you wake up, it's already there. And every module is going to have an overview, the objectives, and what I consider to be the time that you're going to spend doing this. And I have gone into all the details, how much it's going to take us for our video conference right now, 1 hour, to watch every video, how much it takes. These are all pretty much an hour. Some of them are actually 20 minutes, 30 minutes. I put an hour because it takes time for you to digest. Sometimes you stop it, sometimes you watch it or something. And then what needs to be submitted, comments. So I have a total of 8 hours for this week. And that's why I set it on Sunday, so that you can, spread the load through the week. And so eventually you get to do it more. But before I go in, let me go to home. And probably what I wanted you to do for you, what I wanted you to do this weekend was to look at all the details of the course. What are the objectives, learning outcomes, how we're going to work with modules, how to set your notifications. Every time you see this astronaut in the bottom, these are comments on how to do things, how to help with things. So any questions you have, that's the little astronaut there. Then the course basics, the structure, the assignments. You're going to have these minor assignments. These are essays, discussions, postings, the news of the week. You're going to have quantitative assignment when we get to propulsion and orbits and things like this. There's going to be an individual presentation, and I'm going to let you know exactly when we're going to have that. This is going to be, that's why I asked you to do the your video, because the presentation is going to be like that. You're going to be like me here in a video, you're going to have PowerPoints, you're going to present to the group, but you're going to record that. And so now that you feel you're familiar how to record things, you should be all set. And then there's going to be a study project deal, the final project, and I'll be telling you exactly what that is. Video conference sessions, I have to ask Miguel if this link that we have is one that we can use if you want to talk to me individually and say, I want to talk to you about something. If you can just use that WebEx and we can just talk anytime, that could be the same link that we use. You just let me know when you want to talk, and I'll send you the link and we can do it. But I'll arrange that with Miguel. Then communications, like I said, this is extremely important. If you want to send an a mail, just go to inbox and let it through Canvas, or if you want to send it to my Minds email, that's fine. A bit of the discussion forums and the way we should communicate. This is all important thing for you. This is the grading system. I put the numbers and the letters. You guys go by numbers, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the logical thing to do, but I don't know why we have letters in the United States. That's the way it goes. Late submissions, try to be on time. That's important. Let me know if you have any issues, you have a problem, you're sick, let me know beforehand and I can deal with those. Things about integrity, disabilities, if you have any issues, I'll tell you about this, for example, on videos. And things that the university is very keen on doing about discrimination, harassment, Title IX, all of that. Read about it, and if you have any questions, let me know. Then we have the schedule. This is a very important page, guys, because here you keep track of everything. This is the visual schedule that we talked about in our first class, but here goes into the very details. For instance, week 4, the week that we're right now. So we're participating today, Monday, on video conferences. These are the videos you're going to watch during the week, anytime. I have 4 of them. The first one, what are space resources? That's going to be done by Chris Dreyer. Pretty much what I already talked to you the last couple of weeks, but it's a very quick 17 minutes so that you can review, and you have it there for you all the time about the terminology that we use. Then you're going to have an overall view of the solar system by Richard Paling, a planetary scientist. And you can see, oh, there's Parsani. Over here. I saw you. Okay. See everybody what you're doing. So then we're gonna talk about the moon. Here you're gonna have a person that was a leader and advocating for the moon for science and for resources. Paul Splittis, which unfortunately passed away last year, but it's going to be a brief talk that it's worth watching. He's talking a little bit about all things that I already talked to you about. Then you're going to have the world's leading expert on asteroids, so they can go into detail why he thinks asteroids are the place that we should go. And then it's going to be Mars. And the process you're going to learn planetary geology, planetary geophysics as a science, and I'll talk about Mars and the search for life. So these things you can watch anytime, wherever you are. So we're having lunch, just pay attention to what the person is saying. And then you're going to submit several things. The first
just a point here, Professor.
Yeah.
Related to the first assignment that we have for today, I still see the first news of week posting assignment to be due on 4th of November, 3:59 p.m. Not sure why, but
let me see, that's important. Let me see what you see. For example, let's go to the front page. What do you see? To-do list.
for this it is tonight, 11:59 p.m. But for the other one, the news one, it still says 3:59 p.m. for me.
What does it say?
3:59 p.m.
The 3.2.
59.
I tried to do that.
The 3.2 first, the news of the week, or which one? 4.7, 4.6?
3.2.
3.2. It says 3:59? That's very strange. I don't know where time zone you live.
You have to change your settings.
When you go to your settings, you have to change to the Luxembourg time. If you do that, it shows in the US
Exactly.
time for you.
Maybe it's the abbreviation of the
Oh, that's
time.
right. So for you, you have to go here. You have to go to settings. Then go to time zone.
Exactly.
Yeah, it would be in
Yeah.
the account. Yeah.
Unfortunately, there's no Luxembourg, but Rome, Amsterdam, Paris, anything like that works.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yep.
Good. So I'm actually living in your time zone. It's weird for me. I'm living in a different time zone. All right. Let's go to schedule again. Let me go to the schedule. Week 1. So where is the schedule? Here's where you see all the modules, all the things. I don't know if you have. And so one of the things that I did for the assignment this week, the first discussion on comments, you're going to have 2 questions. Well, let me actually go to, well, in general, this is where you're going to see the whole course. All the points add up to 100, to exactly how much everything counts. So if you have any questions, let me know there. But let's go to modules and look at the assignments of this week. So I'll go to overview of solar systems. So once you see how much it's going to take, then you go to the different videos. So the first video, what are space resources? This is the one that Dreyer is going to summarize what I have told you. Immediately you can tell how much it's going to take, so you can see, you can do it on the bus or wherever you are. These are different ways to watch it. Obviously you can see the video. If you have problem understanding, go to closed caption. So if you start playing it, just put it there. You go closed caption.
This is very similar to the scheme from Reserve's International Reporting System.
English.
You
can see whatever he's talking about. All right. Or you can see the video script, and if you click on this little thing, you can see it right there on the page. Every word that he's saying is there in case you missed something. It's there, or you can actually download it. The slides, you can see them there in this little click, or you can download them. You can see the slides in case you're interested. So it covers everything. If you have problems understanding, everything is there, so you don't have any problem. These readings that I gave you, it's not that you have to read them this week. These are very important readings that you need to know in the area of space resources. You may use it for your final project, for individual presentation, but at least they're located where they should be. Like he talks about the JOR code, which we talk about reserves and resources. You can see everything about it. So this is reference material for you. So it happens with all the different lectures. Some lectures don't have the slides, some of them don't have the script, but one way or another you can cover the material. So you got the solar system, and you got the resources on the moon. This is 14 minutes. It's a very interesting talk, very dynamic. You got the asteroids. You may see that some of these things say that it's a seminar class. What I have done is put all the best things that we have here, lectures from seminars, from classes, so that you can have access to that in your own individual classes. You're a privileged bunch because I have assembled the best of our classes for you. So you may see things from different courses, but it all applies to you. And then you got Mars. Then we go to the assignments. This is a discussion in which you're going to have different questions for each one of the talks. Choose two, at least two, anywhere. Like for example, one on the moon and one on Mars. And then you're going to comment on that. You're going to go to the discussions. You're going to hit reply, and you're going to say, okay, about question mark, this is what I think, a couple of paragraphs. You're not going to see the comments from anybody until you post it. Once you post it, that's why I have it due on Saturday. Because next day you're going to see the postings of somebody else, and I want you to comment on a couple of people. When you commented on Mars, on Moon, what are your opinions? If you think he's right or wrong, anything. So that you can have also some communication with your peers, not just with. Is that clear?
Yes.
Good. The rubrics tell you exactly how I'm going to make the points. You know, if you only comment to one, you get 1.5. 2, how thoughtful you are if you don't comment to the crew members, so that you know exactly why you got the point that you got. So it's all pretty clear. For the news of the week, you already done it. Here, everybody has done a great job. Let me tell you what you guys have done. Where is this? Home. Go to news of the week. So, tweet. See, here it is. So I can see, for example, Dave was the first one that commented on this. I didn't comment on this just on purpose. Sometimes you're going to get personal comments when I grade it. And I don't know if, Dave, did you get my personal comments?
As far as I know, not.
Oh, because what I do, maybe the reason why is because, let's see what happened. When I grade, when I grade, I give you the grades and make assignment comments. So you may have to go inside, or maybe your comments were not adjusted yet to your Luxembourg email, but my comments are there. So what I do sometimes, I put it here, but I also do it in the posting. When I do more personal things, I just do it on the comment section. So for example, I did that with Rodrigo. Rodrigo, did you get my comments?
Yes, I saw them.
So probably you saw it underneath your comment, here it is.
Yeah.
But did you get it on my comments on the grade?
I also did, yeah. I saw them both.
Okay. So tell the rest of the class how you did that, because I don't know how you guys can see my comments, my personal comments.
It's on the dashboard. It's in the first page, and then you see the grades on below. Yeah, you see
View grades.
it's below to do. You have like a grade section that shows to us, and then there you click and you see the comment.
So do that if there's a comment, because sometimes I may have a comment just for you, because I don't want anybody to watch it. And so keep track of those, but also keep track of the comments that you do underneath, because you're free to comment on somebody else's. Like for example here, Natalia said something, I commented, somebody can add to my comment or to your comment, and that's going to happen next week when there's discussions. So we know who's commenting on what. Pretty good news, everybody. I think you did a great job telling me what the news are. What I mentioned at the beginning, I want it to be related to space resources. I know some of you just commented on something that is of interest to you. Then I thought about this. I mean, you're in a space master. You feel that there's some news that may not be related to resources that you want to talk about. Go ahead. But if you can relate it to resources, it will be great. And this week was packed. It was packed. There were news about announcements about a rover that is going to look for water on the moon, about China's plans to really get involved in resources, all sorts of interesting things. So I liked what you commented there. So I'm going to continue making comments on each one of your postings. Any questions with this?
I have one. In the hopefully unlikely case that Larry and I haven't succeeded in accessing the portal, Canvas by tonight, what happens with the deadline?
The first time it's no problem. I mean, just do it whenever. I'll make an excuse on this, so no problem. I want you to once you do it, so don't worry about it. For next week, I want you to most of my deadlines are on Sunday at 11:59 to give you the whole week to post it. Sometimes it's Saturday because I want you to post and then comment on somebody else's. And but most of the things are at the end of the week. So the news, you just keep doing this, and then you will have other things. You're going to have essays, assignments, quantitative assignments, things like that. So let me see what else. At some point, let me see. At some point, you're going to see your grades. See, right now, if I go to student view, the only thing you see on the left is home, module, announcements. After this week or so, I'm going to have another one which kind of grades. So you can keep track of what's going on. It's going to look something like this. You're going to see for each assignment how many points you're getting for each. You can even actually see the comments that I made there. Click there and you can see the comments. You can even go here and see what the assignment is. So that's another way to keep track of comments, grades, assignments, and the like. But right now I'm just trying to assemble the course, so you won't see it until. Change email. Any other questions about navigating around the course, posting, all of those things?
The question on the video assignment. I was trying to push the video recorded via the platform itself, but it doesn't seem to work because every time you click on the save button, it stays static.
So let's see. You go to let me see the. So you go to news of the. Let's start with the video, right? Okay. So you go to the video.
The first one.
So here, for example, I have Dave, I have Rodrigo. So if you want to do yours, you click on reply, and right here there's the media button, right? There's the right here, right?
It's the same. So when you click on that and when you record a video, when you try to save it, it's not saving. Just stays. I tried it twice in the morning, and then I deleted it because I was in office after that.
It may have to do with your browser. Anybody has had any problem with that?
Yes. Most people have.
Most people have. Who didn't have a problem?
No, people tried an alternative method after recording by laptop and then uploading. But we couldn't directly record it from the platform itself.
Yeah, even I recorded on the phone and then uploaded it.
All of you? Dave, Rodrigo?
I uploaded it on YouTube and sent the link.
Okay.
Tried to upload it today.
Same thing.
And it looked like it was going to go through and everything and went all to 100% and it's not there.
Let me check on that. Okay.
I didn't post them.
No issues.
I've sent a screenshot as well to you, Professor. Just if you need that.
Okay, I'll check it out. Interesting You see it every slide
Software is
here.
happy.
Do a video here. More media. Maybe just taking time. I'll check into that and see what's going on. In the meantime, you can record it any other way, just post it, that will be fine. And we won't do it again until the individual presentations, so we got time to work with that. All right, any other problems that you have had?
I just checked my School of Mines email account. And there I have 13 messages. They did not get redirected to my Luxembourgish school account.
Did you set this?
I set it to redirect all the messages, and I set a Luxembourgish message as prioritized, so that it should automatically send it to this instead of the School of Mines.
But you do it after you see these emails or before?
Now, for me, it is forwarding the mails from my Gmail to my.
For me, not.
For me, it's happening. So the one you entered in the Gmail, is it the correct one? Did you check the email address? Just confirm.
So what you did, you went to account, you went to settings, you added your University of Luxembourg email.
Yes.
And then you selected default mail, right?
Yes.
And obviously you have not received anything because we just started. I'm going to send you an email, an announcement in a moment.
Okay.
Let's see if you get it there. In fact, I can do that right now. If you already are there.
Did you change notifications too? Because if you go to notifications, then you can unset and set specifically the email that you want.
Ah, you found it. Yeah, I was looking for this. No, I know this site. Can you copy the link and?
So what I'm going to do, I'm going to send an announcement right now. I'm going to create it here. I'm going to call it test. And I'm going to say, hi guys, if you get...
So you can do it like this. Type here it is.
Get it, my announcement.
We lost the screen again.
Select this. No, control C.
Will be up here.
Select this.
So,
No. Copy this. See how the variant.
Yes, but he's supposed to show something.
it goes in announcement here. Test communication. Save.
Can you go?
Here we go. So now you should have received an announcement on your Unilog. Now, did you get it? So, for those of you that have
I got it.
good. So that tells me now you're communicating through the Luxembourg address, so that's a good thing. And so once you do that, all communication down through that, all my comments, everything. So probably that's the best thing so you can keep track of all of this. Now I got it just now, so that's good. Okay.
Sorry, Angel, are you sharing the screen right now?
Yes.
Okay, because we cannot see it.
Yeah. Can you see it?
I can.
Farzana, can you see it?
Yeah, the people with the screen, with laptop can see it already. Can you switch off your camera? 1 second.
Switch my camera. Well, that means, yeah, switch it off. Or just cut video.
Yeah. So I connected this to here. So.
Stop sharing.
Let me stop sharing. Let me see. You see me now?
Yeah.
We see your.
Can you start sharing again?
Screen. How's that?
No.
This should be here.
You commented on something. I didn't get the update. I don't know. Notification, announcement, invitation, discussion. Oh, okay.
In fact, I think we're almost done sharing. Unless you have any questions about the content, the canvas, accessing things, any questions at this point?
No.
Okay, that's good. I think it's simple enough, and I try to be explain as much as possible for assignments and everything. If you have questions, feel free to send me the inbox to Canvas or personal. We'll make it happen. Let me check to see if Larry or Panagiotis have joined. All are still inactive. Okay. As long as you take your address, you will be okay at some point.
It's easier to. I can make a setting there too.
All right, I'm going to sharing the screen so we don't have that issue.
This is
Not sharing. All right, let's talk a little bit about some of the news of the week that were pretty impressive. Let me concentrate first on a controversial topic, and I think Ray was the first one that raised this. There was this big conference, the ISC in Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
Lots of announcements from all sorts of space agencies about going to the moon and all sorts of things. China was there with two interesting announcements. One, commercial companies are getting involved. And this is very unusual for China now. There's two of them. At first, they confused me a little bit because one is called iSpace, the same name of a company in Luxembourg. So that may be an issue. The only thing they put is in capital letters S. So maybe iSpace is not very happy with that, but I don't know how that works. But these are two commercial companies that are now launching rockets on their own. This is very unique. That is happening in China, and interestingly enough, they're using methane and oxygen as their propellant, which tells me at some point they need to be doing the same thing that SpaceX is doing. SpaceX has decided to go methane and oxygen because their ultimate destination is Mars. Because once you go to Mars, then you're going to have carbon dioxide atmosphere. You can process that with water, and you can get methane. And so once you have methane and oxygen, you can refuel the rocket over there. So that tells me they're looking forward. They're not saying anything, but that tells me they're doing that because they're not doing hydrogen and oxygen, which most of the other companies are doing. Blue Origin, Lockheed, NASA, and all of them are doing hydrogen and oxygen because that's what you can get from them. Remember, you can get water, split it up into hydrogen and oxygen. So this is very interesting. The other thing that happened is that China launched the first commercial company on space resources launched. In fact, I met the CEOs of that company in Luxembourg a couple of weeks ago. They were there, and they're the very first company that is looking into asteroid mining. And I asked them why asteroids. I think that's the first they want to do. They want to do remote sensing, satellites, imaging, but at some point they want to expand into something new. So you can see now China really pushing hard into the resources arena. In fact, some of you mentioned in your news, who was that? Vishwajit, maybe? You mentioned the formation of the here it is. The director of the China Aerospace Science and Technology has reviewed Chinese plans to build an economic zone on resource prospecting, mining, space tourism. I mean, they're really going hard on this. And so it was interesting to see that some of you are very excited about some sort of race. I think Rui was a little bit concerned that things are not very friendly. In fact, some of the Chinese people were denied visa for Washington, D.C. We've been having a lot of issues like that. Some of you may know about this too. And that is not a good thing. I think Ray brought up a point that everybody talks about the benefit of open humankind and all of that, but at some point, it's a competition. And competition is fine when it's healthy. The problem is when it gets really, it gets in the way. And all of these projects are going to be extremely ambitious. And you're talking about finding resources, extracting them. You're going to need some cooperation at this point. And hopefully, countries align in a way that this can happen. So, maybe a race is happening, that is true. It's not going to be like in the 60s that you go there, plant a flag, it's over. Now it's about permanent settlement. You have a base on the moon, and when that happens, you're going to start having some legal issues of who can be on what zone, who can extract what. So we're going to be talking about things like this in a week when we're going to talk about social, legal, economic issues of space. We're going to have an expert on this subject talking about the legal issues and what's going on there. We're going to have somebody from Luxembourg talking about the law from Luxembourg that says that you can establish a company in Luxembourg and you're free to go and extract resources from the moon or Mars or whatever. So this is a very controversial issue. It tells you that this is a subject that is not just about science and it's not just about technology. It's going to be about how that we can get along among countries to make use of the resources in space. So this week was a perfect example of how China is coming in very strong, while at the same time the US, Europe, and everybody's trying to do the same. So Rui, if you can keep us posted on what's going on in your country, it will be great. Sometimes it's hard to figure out through the media. I think even before you try to get some link to a Chinese newspaper or news link. Did you find anything?
Yeah,
Yes,
actually,
I found it.
she found it. She found it for me, so I just
because
checked
you
it.
can read Chinese, you can't.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
okay. Good.
If you didn't know Chinese, it's hard for you to search for this.
Yeah.
So it's great that we have with Chinese. We have our Chinese connection here, so we know what's going on, and that's important because this is going to be becoming very fluid. It's going to start changing very quickly. And that's why I want you to check every week. You will see that there will be news coming out from different countries, different things. The other thing was about the announcement from NASA to have this rover called Viper that is going to go to the permanently shuttle regions. So not to the now, it's going to the rims of the craters. It's going to drill a meter, try to find out if there's water there. This is the first prospecting campaign that is going to be going to looking to see if there's water over there. And that's a very important news because other companies are going to try to do the same, but this is the first time. And you can see the pressure because this mission was canceled about a year and a half ago by the United States. But now they see that Europe is going to do something with a mission called Prospect. China is doing it. They brought it back. So you can see there's definitely a pressure to be part of this new, call it race, call it competition, whatever you like. But there's definitely a rush to get to the moon. So that was a big announcement. Another one that Michelle brought up, which was a really good one, I have not seen it. It was an experiment that was done to see how water has been forming on the moon. Most of the theories said that comets brought ice, the ice went into these permanently shuttle regions and it's frozen. But there has been some thought that water is being produced some other way. That other way is by, remember we talked about how oxygen is tied to the mineral. 45% of the moon is oxygen tied to the mineral. But what happens when you hit it with there's an asteroid hits it, you heat up that rock. There's also hydrogen that came from the solar wind. Remember that hydrogen is being implanted by the solar wind because there's no magnetic field on the moon. When you have heat, you have hydrogen and you have oxygen, you form water. And that water tends to then form very quickly and somehow jumps and if it gets down to the permanent shuttle regions, it will stay there. If it stays at the surface, it's going to evaporate. So this university did an experiment looking into heating it up, injecting the hydrogen, and reacting with the oxygen, and they were able to find that in deep water it's moving that way. So that was a very cool experiment at the University of Hawaii. And I'm glad you brought it up, Michelle, because that sometimes gets lost in the news of all these flashy things. Look for those things too. Look for signs, look for experiments that have been done, and you'll see that there's a lot going on in this field of space resources. So really cool news. Somebody brought up an announcement by Luxembourg to create a research center. This is a very important move by Luxembourg, and Miguel can tell you all about it. They want to form their own space resources labs, so they can do experiments in conjunction with the university and by themselves. And this will be an opportunity for all of you that are interested in participating on projects to do that at Luxembourg. So that's a very important announcement, and I think Luxembourg is moving very quickly on a variety of things. It has created the masters, it has created a research center, it's creating a room for companies to work there. and he's creating a legal framework. So they're actually attacking the problem in all of its facets. So I think that was another announcement. I'm trying to get somebody from the Luxembourg Space Agency to talk to you before the November 25th week. I'll announce where it is, so he can tell you everything that is going on there, so you know what's going on. And I'm also working on that visit to a company in Luxembourg, so you can see what is going on, because there's a lot happening in that country. So lots of news. Hopefully you can pick up some for this week, and we'll just stay informed on what's going on. Feel free to choose. I suggested some possible news sources, but if you can find something, especially you, Rui, if you can find things from China, that'll be fine, because it's very hard for us to get that, because it's hard to read. But if you can keep track of what's going on in China, will be very, very good. At least what is public, that would be important. That'll be good. Anybody has any comments?
Actually, about iSpace from China, we have been tracking them a lot from India. So we have been hearing a lot of rumors about a lot of state funds being rerouted through VCs, and then that VC money going into the company, calling it commercial. But then they are having a lot of access to technology from caste. So in fact, because they had approached some investors in India, and they approached ISRO if they can invest in this company, iSpace. But then, so there was a lot of discussion. We don't know if it's really true, if it is really happening. But in 2014, when China released, I think a guide paper on how to invest in space companies. So in this paper, it was quite interesting because they had kind of shown that this is how you invest and this is why you should invest. But then when the government itself is talking about investing in space companies, then we are expecting that they are investing too. So the Chinese companies, there are a lot of them, land space, iSpace, there are a lot of, everything ends with the space. But these companies, I want to know like how private they are and how state they are. So
very important point. I spoke with the company, I think it's called Outside Space. I think it also has a space. The one who wants to get involved with space resources. And they're trying to move operations to Hong Kong. I think that's the way they're trying to see how they can capture the capital from outside. They actually were in Luxembourg 2 weeks ago trying to see if they can settle there in Luxembourg too. So they're trying to move away to get outside capital. But it's hard to say. It's really hard to say. You got a point. I don't know how much is from the government and how much is from outside, and how can they deal with money coming from outside and deal with the government. I don't know. That's going to be very interesting to follow because that's very bad. Anybody else? Any comments on your news and things like this?
I've got a question about the news assignment in general, the news of the week. Up to how many days old can the news be?
Not this one. Oh, this one, yeah.
How many what?
How old
They
can
have
the
two
news
names,
be?
I remember.
7 days?
Basically, it's the news from today, Monday, all the way to Sunday. If there was something that was not captured from the previous week, feel free to do that. But mostly what happens during the week, so we can keep track of what's going on. It may have happened weeks before, but they just announced it.
Oh, okay.
Rodrigo, you made the request to end this at 45 because you guys had to leave somewhere, right? So you're gonna switch this to 4:45, 5:45, so you have to do whatever you guys have to do. So
Yes, that would be great.
now that we are familiar with what's going on with the course, all of these sessions will just discuss what's going on, a little bit about the homework, and then we can break. So we'll see you next week.
Yep.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Guys, just